Good afternoon. Thank you all for attending this press conference as well. I'm State Senator Wayne Langerholc. I represent the 35th Senatorial District and am chair of the Senate Transportation Committee. And we're gathered here today in my hometown airport, the Murtha, Johnstown-Cambria County Airport, to raise awareness of our dynamic aviation system throughout this Commonwealth. And I want to recognize and thank the following dignitaries that are in attendance today. Senator Pastafano was with us earlier at the hearing. I represent Jim Rigby, the Honorable Mike Carroll, the Secretary of Transportation, and our county commissioners, as well as Richland Supervisor Bob Heffelfinger. In addition to, got that on cue, right? In addition to the hometown airport, I want to acknowledge the other airports and organizations who delivered testimony on the hearing this morning. Dr. Larry Knowlton with Knowlton Aviation Services, and again, thank you, Dr. Knowlton, for hosting us here today, as well as the Transportation Advisory Committee, the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, Pennsylvania Drone Association, the Du Bois Regional Airport, Pittsburgh International Airport, Westmoreland County Airport Authority, and the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. And lastly, I want to thank all of our aviation partners and friends who traveled across the Commonwealth to be here with us today. Quite simply, this is our future, and Pennsylvania airports are the backbone of our economy. And I speak oftentimes, transportation is in everything. It affects us on a daily basis and has so many different areas and different reaches, and aviation is one component of that. And I talk frequently about the need for Pennsylvania to never become complacent and to always be looking towards emerging industries. And I spoke of the emerging electric vehicle industry, the emerging autonomous vehicle industry. The emerging aviation industry is no different. And we need to ensure that we are the leaders in the nation and not falling behind the lead of other states. And I think we've already demonstrated that, and today was an effort to continue to advocate for the aviation region. And just in 2019, Pennsylvania's aviation system generated $34.1 billion in total economic output to the Commonwealth. They're the port of entry for millions of travelers and billions of pounds of cargo in the Keystone State, and they create tremendous opportunities for leisurely exploration and for business development. Pennsylvania ranks 16th in the country in the number of public use aviation facilities, with 121 airports, heliports, and seaplane bases. Unfortunately, we've seen that number decline over recent years. And I know, and you all know, that the aviation industry was significantly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Passenger service, for example, experienced cuts over 60%. Pennsylvania has 14 commercial service airports, including Johnstown's, which rely on passenger enplanements and retail services. Now, conversely, the pandemic created new norms for at-home delivery, increasing the demands and pressures on our air cargo system. And the state of the aviation industry has many needs. Today, I would like to address this in three specific components: airport investments, advanced technology, and workforce development. Now, first, airport investment. A recent study which was highlighted at the hearing here this morning, the Transportation Advisory Committee, Aviation Task Force, the testimony that was elicited, showed that Pennsylvania's aviation system requires an annual investment of $217.5 million to keep the state's 121 public use aviation facilities in a state of good repair, and the aviation system is experiencing a funding gap of $53.5 million. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act will provide historic investments to our assets, including roads, bridges, airports, and more. And Pennsylvania's block grant airports have the potential to receive $71 million annually for 5 years, bringing the total federal investment up to $355 million. However, this money is not free, and we must provide a state match of $1.6 million annually. I look forward to working with the legislative and executive branches to deliver the state match to maximize our airport investments. And second, to help invest in our airports without raising taxes and fees, the General Assembly passed legislation last year that I had the opportunity to sponsor, Act 53, which established airport land development zones, or ALDZs. And those are innovative, in an innovative solution to help fill the funding gaps, particularly when an airport has developable land. And as we were on the tour, we see the large amount of land that is developable here and that could lend to that designation. Now, with respect to advanced technology, the emergence of unmanned aircraft systems, UAS or UAV or drones, is a forward-thinking solution to deliver packages and perform a variety of services. We were pleased to have such wonderful testimony here today in the impact that drones can have on our communities. And Pennsylvania only enacted one drone law in the interest of public safety, Act 78 of 2018, which unanimously passed the General Assembly with unanimous support. Now, this legislation makes it illegal to deliver contraband and operate a drone to conduct surveillance of another person in a private place. But there's more work to be done, and Cambria County is a forward-thinking county that will help advance this technology. And I look forward to continuing to work with the industry to establish Cambria, in this airport, I'll be selfish, as the state and national leader here. And there's so many different individuals that have worked tirelessly on behalf of that industry. I see Art Martinuski in the back there. And we look forward to continuing to work in that area. And I would be remiss also if I did not mention Navmar Applied Sciences Corporation, which has an office just down the street here from the airport. And they're working on drone technology for the Department of Defense, which further reflects the growing dominance of Cambria County in this space. And finally, workforce development. The aviation industry supports 226,000 family-sustaining jobs, making it one of the largest employment sectors in the Commonwealth and creating a promising career path for our students. According to a 2021 aviation industry update presented at the Pennsylvania Aviation Caucus, Boeing predicts the United States will need 760,000. That's 760,000 pilots and 739,000 maintenance technicians between 2021 and 2039, excluding the drone industry. And it's no secret that the nation's pilots are getting older, with an age cap of 65 for commercial airlines set by the federal government. Attracting new pilots is a top priority. And I'm excited the work the airport is doing with St. Francis to bring individuals, students, to help fill those voids. And it is an exciting time. And again, as I said, we don't want to become complacent. We want to move forward and continue this growth. And with that, I will introduce now the man that is responsible for so much of the growth here at this airport, and he wants to highlight, I think, some of the great work that's being done with the area. But Dr. Larry Nolan.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Senator Langerholc, Secretary Carroll, and Representative Rigby, just giving us this opportunity to really advance our beautiful airport. And as you can see, a lot of activity here today, which we're happy about. The other thing we've done too, we do want to thank all those partners like the county and Art with the drone industry coming up, but also with the St. Francis University, where we have a pilot training program and a pilot maintenance training program. And hopefully they'll be working on this beautiful aircraft. So pass it off to Secretary Carroll here.
Yes, it's my privilege to introduce now Acting Secretary of Transportation Mike Carroll, and we're so appreciative of him willing to travel here, and I think it shows his commitment to the aviation industry, and I'm very refreshed and look forward to working with him in his capacity as the new Secretary of Transportation. So with that, Secretary Carroll.
Senator, thank you so much, and Senator Langerholc, thank you for your leadership with respect to the aviation industry that we heard about today, and your broad leadership when it comes to transportation issues. As the chair of the Senate Transportation Committee, the Senator has a quite important perch when it comes to the transportation policy of this Commonwealth, and I look forward to working with him in the coming years. I'm happy to deliver the news today that Governor Shapiro's budget proposal included that $1.6 million the Senator noted to ensure that we receive the full allocation this Commonwealth is eligible for, thanks to the Federal Infrastructure and Jobs Act bill. That money is critically important to our airports across this Commonwealth, and I look forward to being a partner with those airports, advancing the interests of the airports, the folks in our state, the 13 million residents of Pennsylvania that rely on the important assets that are delivered whether it's commercial flights, whether it's general aviation, or whether it's a myriad of other activities that occur in these airports that the average person may not recognize until a moment in time when they actually need that airport's availability. So, Senator, thank you again for your leadership and the opportunity, and I look forward to being a partner with all of you going forward. Thanks so much.
Thank you. With that, we'll turn it over if there are entertain any questions if there are. If not, thank you again. I only see one media outlet here. I don't know if Brock, if you have any questions. If not, we can talk later. But thank you all, and that concludes today's hearing and tour.